Spirals Volume 1, Not a Straight Line to Be Found. This was, I guess, right before the pandemic. It's produced by Steve Adabo, my good buddy Steve Adabo. There's a picture of him on the inside here. And we recorded it in Manhattan at his studio, Shelter Island Sound. There are 5 songs on this record. Let's see, so where was my headspace? The Mountain. The Mountain is a song about people who talk themselves out of everything. You know, they're really smart, they're really intuitive, they have a lot of good ideas, but at the same time, they see all the obstacles. And because of all the obstacles, they end up doing nothing. You know, we all have mountains in front of us, and we can't let the mountain stop us. We just got to go one day at a time, step at a time. And that's how you climb the mountain. So, that's The Mountain. Shelter Island. I've long had a romance with Shelter Island, which is a little island on the east end of Long Island. It's in between the forks of the North Fork and South Fork of Long Island. I've had a property there for many years. You know, I always felt like it was a good song title, you know, and a few times over the years I've tried to write songs with that as the title, and it never met my level of okayness. But finally it did. And, you know, this is a song again, early in my relationship with Francesca. I'm now living in Milan part of the time, understanding, you know, I talked before about the song Alone and how I lived through that and how I realized that I was not cut out for that. And in Shelter Island, I'm talking about the shelter that I've now found again, and also at the same time paying homage and respect to the people who live alone. So that's that song. Back in the Neighborhood, I'm from Brooklyn, grew up in the Flatbush neighborhood of Brooklyn. And so this is basically a song about, you know, having a dream of going, you know, for a long time in my life, there are moments when I will fantasize about moving back to Brooklyn and trying to recreate that spirit that I had, you know, in that environment of young and growing up. And, you know, and I romanticize that sometimes, you know, but at the same time, I recognize that you can't go back because, you know, things are always in flux, and you could go back, the buildings might even still be there, but it's just not the same because it's about the people, and people are gone. So it's a different thing. And it's also throwing a little shade at gentrification in that song, maybe a little bit too. In the Garden of November, which is one of my favorite songs that I have written. I'm in Milan, it's November, and I'm sitting in a park, and I'm watching the leaves fall down and looking at the leaves, beautiful colors at my feet. I'm on this old bench from I don't know what year, and so you start to reminisce a little bit, but at the same time, I'm starting to feel a little chill in the air, and I'm like, oh, Christmas is coming, it's going to be the new year, and so then you start tripping about the future and what's going to happen next, and that's in the Garden of November. It's about sitting in the present, looking back at the future, and looking forward to what's to come. See you when I get there. With this song, for the most part, I put a period on the paragraph in the last sentence of digesting, losing, and loss, and life and death. You know, it starts with me having a dream, and in that dream, that person, you feel them. It's like you get that sense of who they were and what it was like when they were alive, and so I had this feeling, and then something moved, or so there was a noise, and I kind of woke up out of the dream, and I was like, how do you get back to that, you know? And you really can't, you know, but it's a song, you know, see you when I get there, but it's also a song about these little glimpses of people who have gone on that you carry with you and that you recognize in your life as you continue to live your life. Spirals Volume 1. So I just wanted to briefly talk about the artwork. Because of Francesca, now I'm fully immersed in the art world at a certain level, and I've befriended quite a number of artists who are people who I respect and admire, who inspire me, even though their practices are different than mine. This is my friend Padraig Timothy, who is basically an Irish artist who lived in Naples for a long time and now is in Berlin. and he's an artist that shows with my brother-in-law, Andrew Krebs. Padre came to visit me at my house in LA. He was doing a show in LA, and I started playing him the songs for this album. It was, right before I started recording, and we got into this conversation, and so he created some pieces for the cover and let me choose which one I wanted to use for the cover. So I chose this one. It's a woman standing kind of at maybe the bottom of a mountain, getting ready to make her move upward. So we use that as the motif.